I'm Dr. Ryan DeBell from The Movement Fix. This is Movement Fix Monday. I'm here once again with Chris Johnson at Métier. Chris is from Zarin PT and Performance. What we're going to do in this video is make a case for using a barbell curl as a way to improve shoulder health, robustness, again, of the shoulder girdle, as well as a way for those of you who are clinicians and treat pain to maybe deal with some anterior shoulder pain that could be from irritation with compression of the biceps tendon. So what I'm going to do is hand over the mic to Chris, and he's going to take me through a variation of the barbell curl, and hopefully we'll convince some people that this is actually a useful exercise and it's not just a meathead way to build a bicep muscle.
Excellent. So one of the things that we hear clinicians say all the time is never to do bicep work or to train the elbow flexors. And the reality of the situation is that life demands that we use our elbow flexors. So I think there are ways to approach it in a little bit more of a sensible manner, and to also use bicep curls as a retraining exercise. So I want to just take you through a couple things that I sort of pay attention to when I'm prescribing this exercise, specifically with cueing. Okay? So to your point, one of the things that we commonly see among weightlifters is anterior shoulder pain, and the long head of the biceps is always implicated. And one of the common pitfalls when we start seeing people do curls is when they go to curl, their shoulder starts to extend, okay, and that's going to probably lend itself to further compression of the long head of the biceps. Jill Cook and a lot of folks in Australia are doing great work along these lines. So let's take you through this and just sort of get people to appreciate some of the details with it, okay? Yeah. So again, when you go to set up, all right, you don't need to get too carried away with load. I see people just, getting themselves into a lot of trouble and using unnecessary load, and I think that's when problems start to arise. So when we first start, okay, with you in this position, I want you to, we don't even need to go into the exercise first. Let's take it into a shoulder extension isometric and focus on just increasing the distance or opening up your chest without flaring and really pinching the shoulder blades. Okay?
How am I doing?
Awesome. Okay, so this looks good. Now from here, when you go up, I want you to maintain this position, okay? Don't let your shoulder break the plane of the body.
Don't do that.
Correct.
Got it.
And just slowly go up. 2 seconds on the way up, 2 seconds on the release. Another simple cue that I like to use is to think of just gently pulling the bar apart, and essentially you're going to improve activation of the posterior shoulder musculature. Okay, so it's a way to, again, just
spread the chest, pull the bar apart,
and then go up.
2 seconds up. That makes it way harder.
Yeah. So again, folks are always leaving a lot on the table when they do an exercise. So de-emphasize the resistance and really focus on form and quality. And you can see even just a standard barbell for you is a great stimulus.
This is a female barbell too. This is only 15 kilo.
Don't tell people that.
Well, I did a lot of bicep curls earlier today on my FHT. So they're smoked already. That's why this is heavy. Otherwise, this would be light.
Yeah, but again, a drill or exercise, it gets a very bad rep for a lot of reasons that we can address.
Now, why do you think it gets such a bad reputation?
Well, I think naturally people always think that working the beach muscles is a problem, but I think of this exercise as first and foremost a low back exercise because you have a load that's pulling you forward.
It's a large lever arm when you're out here.
Yeah, so I think it's a little bit simplistic or reductionist to just say this isn't a way to train the elbow flexors. It's an opportunity to train a whole slew of things if you take the time to appreciate that. Yeah. And I think a lot of times that's not the case. So now again, if someone has a slap repair or any labral pathology, yeah, you have to start really taking a closer look at this. This is not something I would encourage you to do. But again, for someone who has a healthy shoulder, I don't think it's the end of the world if someone does go to train their elbow flexors in this manner. Just be sensible and take the time to look at all the moving parts.
Great. Yeah, so that was a little bit tiring, just doing those reps. But
deceptive.
It is deceptively tiring when you think about really pulling the bar apart. So that's something unique to a barbell versus, say, doing it with dumbbells. You can't really get that sort of resistance. But I've actually been using curls more and more with building sort of resilience around the shoulder, especially when I think about in CrossFit, like things like kipping, pull-ups, as well as the amount of tension and compression you go under with dips. I did a video a couple weeks ago on anterior shoulder pain with dips and how going into so much shoulder extension all the time can be an issue. issue. How do we deal with that? Well, maybe bicep curls is part of the equation because you can put tension into the tendon without compressing it. And I'll put a link to a video that kind of illustrates that, which, did that come from the guys in Australia? Do you know which video I'm talking about? It showed like the sling with the, anyways, I'll put it in the description, give credit where credit's due. But thanks for taking us through that variant. That's what I got for you guys this week on Movement Fix Monday. Hopefully I've convinced some of you guys that doing bicep curls isn't such a bad thing all the time, and it actually has its place in training, especially if the arms are sort of undertrained. It's a way to kind of get everything leveled out. So if you don't already follow the Move It Fix on Instagram, make sure to go to Instagram, and I'm at the Move It Fix. Chris is at ZarenPT. Also make sure to check out his YouTube channel, which is where he posts a lot of his great videos. So